Welcome back. The City of Johannesburg is one of the key municipalities in Gauteng operating with insufficient fire trucks. That's according to a state of readiness report by Gauteng Disaster Management. Let's unpack this story further. We're joined this afternoon by Dr. Mgcini, Tshwaku, who is the Johannesburg MMC for Public Safety. Dr. Tshwaku, it's great to have you with us on the program. In fact, we had this conversation just yesterday with the head of Gauteng Disaster Management, and I was pushing him for an answer on when we'd be able to see the fire trucks that Johannesburg and the other two key metros in Gauteng need. He couldn't give us a date. In the interim, overnight, an estimated 200 families losing their homes in a fire that spread through Selby informal settlement, showing us the price to be paid when we are this unprepared for a crisis.
No, thank you very much. Thanks, Michelle. Good
afternoon.
Good afternoon to yourselves and the viewers there at home. No, I listened to the interview yesterday that I just got shocked that maybe Newzroom Afrika did not contact ourselves as the city and also public safety. As you all know that we're dealing with the disasters and everything. You know, the area that you are talking about is a high-risk area. We know about it, that area. So it's an area that it's actually, you know, has been, you know, because of the shacks that are there in that area, because it's a shack area, and then looks as if that there was an incident, someone just, you know, the guys are still doing their investigation of what actually happened. But if you look at the response of the fire engines, they were there on time very quickly. I mean, the fire was there, it actually happened because, I mean, in the informal settlement, that's the risk that we have. We've got a risk register in terms of those, the areas that are there in terms of fire. And I mean, in a shack fire, you know, when one shack catches a fire, it just spreads very quickly because of the material that is actually been built with and so, but I mean, the damage could be, you know, could have been worse. But all the fire engines that they were actually there, and the response, the average response, if you can look at our annual report, you can even come into the audit, an annual report and an average response of the EMS on the scene is now less than 15 minutes. It's actually according to the international standards. You know, you can go there, you can audit it, you can go to our annual report, and then if you come to the EMS, we are happy to show you those things there. The issue is not really, of course, we have a shortage. We've got 13 fire engines. We've just signed now, we've concluded the SLA with the service provider. In the next 3 months, we're going to be rolling out, there's going to be a delivery of the fire engines. I think there's going to be three. Up until it's done, I think we're ordering about 12 or 13 sort of, but I just look at the numbers. But look, this is what has been happening. I mean, the previous administration, they promised that they are, you know, the engines are coming, but the problem is that the SLA was never concluded, none whatsoever. There were issues that were there, of which the supply chain can actually tell what are the issues there. So the process was restarted again. It has been concluded. SLAs have been signed, actually they were signed around November. So the service provider, of which that I cannot disclose at this point in time, is going to roll them out by, we look at about April, May, we're going to be starting to have those fire engines. But the disaster of yesterday was just a reality that those many informal settlements in the city of Johannesburg are a high-risk areas, you know, because you wouldn't see the fly because it's inside the shacks and all of that. Our disaster management unit, they were there to provide a relief. And then as the city, we even have a budget, 31 million for relief, the relief in terms of buying, you know, your bed, buying another material and all of that. The issue that we're actually really having now is the issue of the spatial planning, you know, and also we need to, you know, to ensure that working with the national and the province to roll out to ensure that we convert these shacks into places where people, they are able to really stay there. So that's why I thought that maybe there was a misalignment between ourselves and the province. Just to appraise you, maybe he did not tell you that we had a meeting last week, in November before we closed with the MEC Mamabola, that's the Cocta MEC. we were actually having a disaster meeting of all these stakeholders to really now, through this IGR, to ensure that the province and the national were aligned.
Dr. Tshwaku,
when I got in,
do you mind me coming in there? I'd like to get a few questions in.
Okay.
Are you saying, but just by the way you're answering the question, you're saying the fire trucks arrived quite quickly. The reason why the fire spread, and this is true, we know it to be true, is because of the settlement, the informal settlement, and the way homes are quite close together, and the materials being used in the construction of these homes. But are you trying to say that there has been no impact on Joburg or Gauteng caused by this shortage of fire trucks?
Look, I'm yet to see a scientific evidence, because sometimes with the fire engines that we have, we'll have a situation where a fire engine will be carrying water, go into an area, but the area where we are, they find that they've vandalized one of the hydrants, or these fire hydrants. And then you'll have a situation. We've actually augmented some of these fire engines. We've augmented with what is called what is called the skid units. Fighting with actually those. We've even I can even bring the chief of fire, because when I've entered 2 years ago, it was a very hot topic in terms of those days. But look, we know that as per requirement by the law and the policy of the city, we are short of the fire engines, because you must have a certain number of engines which are supposed to be in the fire stations. But we did not have to wait for too long for those issues. We just had to look at the high risk areas and ensure that all our fire engines and the skid units is those buggies with the tanker at the back, to say that these are the high-risk areas, guys, must be able to really respond. For example, the inner city is a priority on the incident that happened that side, because you've got Amapet building that area. You've got the areas that the Zandspread, which quite a lot of shacks there as well. So we've actually spread to a point where we're able to respond very quickly. So that's why I'm saying that. But when I look at the scientific analysis in terms of the response time and also the public opinion, of course, the public see that we are doing everything that we can, because we do, arrive at least at the time. Most of the people that they were crying about is that the water gets finished on our tankers, and then we have a problem in terms of the hydrants, which are vandalized.
Isn't it more accurate to say, Dr. Tshwaku, sorry to interrupt you there, but isn't it more accurate to say that it's actually not the city's fire trucks that are responding to most of the emergencies in the city and around Gauteng, but rather these private service providers like Fidelity, for example?
No, it is the city. The city will be there, but being augmented by the private ones. We actually allow them by law. Actually, they're not supposed to be doing that. But as the city, we said to them, come on board. It's okay. It's fine. Work with us. We even
so there is an impact. There is definitely an impact, because the city is unable to do the job by itself.
No, what I'm saying is that they do come by themselves. It's fine, because sometimes we don't even call them. They actually come and help. So if they want to come and help, we don't say no. They can come and help. But we've got the capacity. We don't discourage them. As a city, we have a capability. If you know that Johannesburg is got the top chief engineers in terms of fire, and our firefighters are top notch, and they've been fighting bad.
I don't doubt that for a second.
We don't say that. We don't say that the other private guys, they must not come on board. They do respond as well. We welcome them. But it does not mean that we don't have any capacity, because we are dealing with a service delivery issue. So I don't want us to this debate to be about who's doing best, the public or the private. Our guys in the city are responding very well. They are fighting the fire. And when the other firemen are coming in, they welcome them, and we fire together. We even said to them, maybe we must look at the relationship, because we don't have a problem with that. We don't have an issue. If they want to come on board, let us look in terms of their capacity. Let's look at the legislation and all of that. Then we can bring them up. We have no issues with that. But we have the capacity as the city. But for them to come on board and assist us, we don't have an issue with that. So let us not make it to be us and them, because you are going to make us to fight between the private sector and the public sector. And we are not on that. We're on service delivery. But if they want to come on board, there are proposals which are flying out there. We know who the people you are talking about. We have no issues with that. Let's look at it and see how can we bring them on board. But we are rolling out. We've got a budget to buy these, these fire engines, and we're going to have in the next April, May. We are going to see them.
All
SLA
right.
is done.
April, May is when we will schedule our follow-up interview with you.
No problem. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there on the signing. But they said to me, look, MMC, we cannot publish it because it's still under this administrators. It's the change, because I wanted to show you that SLA is done, the public. But you can probably do your investigative journalist. There is a SLA sign. There is a company that has been hired. It's busy manufacturing now. We're going to roll them out. April, May, around there, we'll be having them in time of the fires in June, July.
Indeed, for fire season. So are we buying these fire trucks, or are we leasing them? And for either option, at what cost?
Well, we're buying them.
And what is the cost?
No, I can't disclose on the more, because that's more in terms of the procurement thing is. So, but we'll give you the whole detail. Don't worry about them. But I just know that I'm here. Dr. Tshwaku is there, public safety. Where I'm radical in terms of the JMPD, we've been radical on the EMS to ensure that the procurement services are done. We're going to deliver.
But I mean, how radical have you been? This is a years-old issue. Years old. More than 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Yeah.
Oh, it's a years old. Remember, procurement processes are taking too long. I just
Do they
came
take
to the
years?
department. Yeah, I entered the department. When was it? In 2023. That's like what? Almost 2 years now. We've been fighting. We've been getting there. Because even, I tell you, a procurement process for this big to contract, I mean, can take almost a year, because adjudication, you have to, publication, all those kind of things you actually have to do. But finally, it's here now. And a year-old problem has been sorted out very quickly, efficiently by the MMC Tshwaku and the City of Johannesburg. And also thanks to MMC Masuku, who's been driving this thing. That's the MMC for GCSCC. We've been working together. She's done a very sterling job with the public safety department. We've delivered. This government is going to deliver. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is that all the problems now, we are busy right now. We are at the robots now, taking all the, the street kids and then and the mamas which are begging. I'm on the road now. We are talking to them, taking them to the shelters. This is also a 10-year-old problem, but we're sorting it now within a very short space of time. So we are problem solvers, not whiners.